A big thank you to Roborock for sponsoring this video. So we're gonna start with a riddle. What do you get when you take LiDAR, robots, sonic vibrations, suction, and water, put them in to one thing? I know what you're thinking, and you're right, it's obviously the Roborock S7 robot vacuum mower. So I have had some version of Roborock patrolling my house now for the better part of 2.5 years, and we've had 2 of them here at the studio. So it's a brand that I know very well, a brand that I have bought their products legitimately, because I think they make some of the most awesome tech-forward little robot cleanup guys in the world. If you don't know Roborock, they really elevated the game when they hit the market. It was the first robot vacuum that seemed to actually work because of the technology that was built in. There's been robot vacuums before. These are the first that really put tech at the forefront. Again, because of that, I've been using them for years. Their latest model, the S7, takes the sort of the mapping knowledge that Roborock is really known for and combines it with a 2-in-1 mopping and vacuum system. But before I get to all of that stuff, I want to give you guys a thank you, a shout out, and appreciate you guys sticking with the channel for watching the videos and give you guys a chance to win a $500 American Express gift card. Made it super easy, just like the video. Leave a comment down below, tell me what you would do with a Roborock vacuum. Be sure to leave your social handle so that way when you win, I know how to contact you. So for the longest time, the biggest problem with vacuums like this was, emptying it. Human laziness, really. Sure, the house gets cleaned every day, but then you still have to clean it and make sure that it's empty. And I know how ridiculous that sounds. It's like, oh, the worst part of cooking is cleaning up. But that's not the case anymore. The S7 actually can work with an auto empty dock, which is as epic as it sounds. So instead of docking and making you empty it afterwards, this is gonna do all the dirty work for you. So inside there's a filter and a dust bag, right? Like every vacuum. The bag is 3 liters, so it's gonna take quite a while to fill up. In fact, this thing can last up to 8 weeks without emptying. That's a very, very long time. And by the way it gets there is by being smart. There's intelligent dust collection modes that's gonna adjust how often it's going to empty based on your use. And you can adjust which mode it uses in the app depending on the size of your house. So I personally use smart because it figures out what it's doing on its own. If for whatever reason I don't empty it, there's a button in the app to force empty into the auto empty dock. And essentially what that boils down to, it gets filled, it empties itself, and then when the auto empty dock gets filled, you have to empty that. But you don't have to do that really for sometimes as far as 2 months. It's epic, it's awesome, plays right into my love of tech and also my innate laziness. Best of all that aside, if the S7 docks with the dustbin and doesn't quite get it right, you've seen these things kind of line up a little sideways. If it's not lined up correctly, it's going to stop the auto emptying so it doesn't just dust all over your house. It's courteous like that. So the vacuum itself, when you buy it, comes with just a normie dock. If you want to choose to go smaller profile, if you want to. You can purchase the dock separately on its own, but it's important to note that the dock only works with the S7 model. So previous models won't be compatible with just the S7. So there is a bundle available too, which I think is the way to go. If you're going to use the S7, I think it makes sense to get the auto empty dock with it. All right, so you just bought the S7. What are you gonna get? You notice that little kind of hockey puck looking thing on top? That is a signature of Roborock. It's a LiDAR scanner. It's the same thing that a lot of cars using for autonomous technology. It's built into your vacuum, which is awesome. This is going to sort of scan your whole room and make sure it gets every nook and cranny. And like I said, this feature is why I've been using a Roborock vacuum, because it just works. Along with that, you get the cleaning brushes. This thing vibrates, and it vibrates a lot for a reason. So it's sort of using this moving head. It's gonna use sonic vibration technology to scrub your floor up to 3,000 times per minute. It's always been a question, I think, with these mopping functions, right? It's easier for this thing to drive around and make like a snail trail on the floor, but is it actually cleaning and scrubbing the dirt away, or just sort of smushing it all the way around? It works really, really well, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons to go for the mop function that this thing comes with. All right, so the mop function's great, it works. But in my house, like probably your house too, I have rugs, carpets, and other places that don't need to be mopped, but I still want them vacuumed. So the S7s can do all those things. The mop is intelligent, so it can detect when it reaches a carpet and lifts up the mop head out of the way so it can vacuum your carpet in sort of one single cleaning sesh. So actually it's gonna use ultrasonic sound to detect which to be on. And when it does vacuum, it's using a new rubber brush, so no longer is it using the Bristle brand design. It's gonna get tangled and messy and just gross looking. Sort of what most vacuums look like. This one is a solid piece of rubber that leads to just a general cleaner floor. All right, so with the robot vacuum, the hardware and features are sort of just step one. Being able to control it and tell it when and where to go, I think is way more important than how well it cleans. So I mentioned this thing's got LiDAR built in, and that's where the mapping and sort of those cool settings come in. Everything is controlled with the Roborock app, and there is a ton that you can set here. So first, my favorite thing is just seeing the precision mapping of the vacuum. And this sounds like a weird thing to say, but you can see a detailed layout of your house that has been completely mapped with the S7. So plus, I kind of like to see where the vacuum is missed. So for example, you leave your shoes in the middle of the floor, like my kids do all the time, you can see exactly where the S7 did and didn't go. Sort of think of it like the LiDAR sensor on the back of the iPad Pros or your iPhone Pros. It really does an awesome job mapping the whole area around you. And the map's gonna allow you to customize the rooms and layouts of the cleaning cycle. So personally, I live in a 2-story house, so being able to have both levels sort of saved is important. And the app gives you multi-level maps. So when I'm ready to clean upstairs, I literally just have to carry it up. It'd be awesome if it could go upstairs on its own. It's gonna remember, know that it's upstairs, know where I've used it before, and just go. It can actually work up to 4 floors if you live in a mansion. But best of all, you can clean all these places with just one simple battery charge. All right, so aside from the mapping, you can actually schedule when the vacuum's gonna start. This is one that we use all the time in our house. So I've got kids and they like to take naps. So I wanna make sure I don't disturb them. Also, when they come home from school, I don't want the vacuum going, so I'd rather it sort of finish during the day. So you can set your particular schedule for whatever you want, even do it on a room by room basis. Plus, you can also set a do not disturb for nighttime, just in case. Or if you just need to clean one room real quick, you can tell a vacuum, just go to that room and clean it straight from the app, which my kids think is a party trick. From my phone, I'm pushing a button and then a robot just goes there. You can do a bunch of other stuff too. You can set up no-go zones with visible walls. It's really kind of granular. You can dig in and do whatever you want. So we have a rug that my kids play on a lot, and that means there are toys everywhere on it. I can actually set a boundary along that rug so the vacuum doesn't try to clean there. You can sort of get that detailed in if you want. For most people that don't have kids or dogs, you can pretty much just hit vacuum and it'll just do its thing. It's also connected, so it'll work with your voice using Alexa, Google, or Siri. So pretty much every assistant you are jamming with, it can work with that. So use your voice, set it to go. I know all of this sounds like things you may have heard before, but a lot of competitors and a lot of other sort of vacuums have 1 or 2 features. The Roborock S7 brings all of these together and it works well. I know it's kind of weird to be talking about a vacuum and a robot vacuum, but it is an awesome combination of technology and also like in-home actual usefulness. So if this is something you want to check out, you can actually buy it on Amazon. I'll leave the link down below.